Welcome back to Cine K. Today's movie is titled Insane, a 2016 Korean psychological thriller that will keep you on the edge of your seat. It's about a woman who is kidnapped and taken to a psychiatric hospital even though she doesn't have mental illness. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the recap. The movie starts when a woman walks down the street and she is abducted by anonymous people in broad daylight. The girl named Sua, where the two nurses drag her to the bathroom where her nightmare starts. Then they bring her to the doctor's office and there she meets Dr. Jang, who told her that the place was a mental hospital where not all the patients have mental illness. When Sua heard it, she lost hope. By the thought that she will spend her whole life in that place leads to her aggression. Then the nurse started beating her to teach her a lesson. Because of their rough treatment of the patient, Sua remains silent. But not all nurses in that facility are cold-hearted. The nurse named Dong-sik is the only innocent in that facility, because he didn't discover yet the dark secret of that hospital. He believed that their work there was dignified. For him, Sua is just an ordinary patient in that facility who always asks for help and tries to convince them that they don't have a mental illness. Dong-sik just told Sua that he always hears that to all patients who say that they are normal. In her desperation, she immediately took Dong-sik's pen and wrote down the rescue number. Dong-sik didn't reprimand her but instead he calmly said to Sua the house rules in that facility that the patient is not allowed to use any sharp object. In the next day, Sua is officially blended to other mental patients. Then a patient named Miro comes close to her and says that she doesn't have a mental illness and she was just forcibly taken there. When Sua hears it, she gains hope and excitedly asks Miro if she knows where the exit of the hospital is. Miro reveals that she knows a man who didn't wear clothes who knows the exit. But suddenly Miro is struck by madness and starts attacking Sua. The commotion quickly alerted Dr. Jang and immediately knew what happened. He quickly commands the nurse to take Sua to solitary confinement. Sua takes the punishment instead of Miro because Miro is the only patient that is close to Dr. Jang and can freely roam the facility. Miro also knows all the security codes of all the doors in the facility. When Miro starts lighting the candle, Dr. Jang already knows that it is the time to do the special procedure of her treatment. Later that night, when Sua is sleeping, she feels that there is a hand crawling in her back. She got shocked and stayed on the corner afraid while the hand was still crawling in her bed. In her fear and lost hope, she tried to take her life but unexpectedly she failed because the nurses managed to treat her immediately and they didn't want her to die. Because of what happened, Sua changed her plan and was determined to escape the facility. After days of observing, Sua notices that every time the patient goes to the operating room, she no longer sees them back again. She also discovered about a mysterious hand who was crawling in her back. Previously it was owned by the naked man mentioned by Miro who knows the exit of the facility. In her fear, she tries again to escape but every time she is captured she faces brutal consequences. Desperate to escape, she reaches out to the naked man and asks for help. The naked man offers her a deal which is to come with him tomorrow morning in the communal bathroom and he will tell the escape route. It seemed that Sua already knew what the naked man wanted from her in exchange for the information. In her desperation, she didn't hesitate and immediately accepted the offer. In the morning, when Sua entered the bathroom, the naked man immediately started his business to her. While doing the intimate scene, the naked man starts giving the information that there is a secret passage in Dr. Jang's office. He also gave the passcode of the door. Then the man asks a favor which Sua immediately gives but it makes him suffer. Then Sua secretly went to Dr. Jang's office. Unfortunately, the passcode that the man gave to Sua didn't work. When Sua panicked, Miro suddenly appeared on her side. She remembered that Miro always visits Dr. Zhang's office and knows the passcode. When Sua asks Miro about the passcode, she refuses to give it and walks away, but Miro starts tapping her finger into the wall. She didn't exactly remember the number of the passcode, but she remembered the pattern of how Dr. Zhang pressed the keypad. Sua immediately gets it and successfully opens the door. Then she immediately figures out that the information given by the naked man is true, that the secret passage was inside the wardrobe of Dr. Zhang. Before Sua starts escaping, she hears the footsteps of Dr. Zhang approaching. She didn't waste any time and immediately got into the secret passage. But before she managed to get down, Dr. Zhang notices that the wardrobe is open, and when he checks he finds Sua escaping. Afraid to get caught, Sua let go of the pipe that she was holding and fell to the ground. Luckily she didn't hurt that much when she fell. When Sua explores the area, she figures out that she is in the underground parking lot. Sua staggered out of the parking area and found herself in the middle of the city. She also knew that she was 100 meters away from the place she was abducted. Sua starts asking help from the people around, but most of the people are judgmental and no one dares to help her, thinking that she is crazy. From the distance she sees an ambulance from the hospital where she escaped. Then 2 guards came out and started running to capture her. Sua immediately runs to escape the guard, and when she sees a police car she immediately runs toward them to stop. When the guard sees it, they stop the chase. Sua immediately get in the police car. The police lady assures her that they will take them to a safe place. The police, who didn't know the real story, bring Sua back to the hospital where she escapes. Sua didn't know that Dr. Zhang called the police to take her back to the hospital. It shows that the horrible hospital has an alliance from the police department who protects them from their illegal work. Sua was dragged back to the hospital. This time, Dr. Zhang is furious with Sua's actions and gives his grim verdict to remove Sua's organs like they did to other patients. Dr. Zhang assigned Dong Sik to be his assistant on that operation. While Dong Sik helped the doctor, he accidentally dropped the box and saw the organ of the patient. Dong Sik realized that the hospital had an illegal business by selling organs. Dong Sik chose to disobey the doctor's command and secretly call the number that Sua gave to him before. Later on, Sua's boyfriend named Wu Jin came to the hospital. He is the one that Dong Sik called on the phone. With the guidance of Dong Sik, Wu Jin immediately finds Sua, who is tied to the bed. They rush to unleash her and carry her out to the hospital. Unfortunately, on their way out, they cross paths with Dr. Zhang and his guards. The trio was immediately captured and Dr. Zhang became furious about Dong Sik's betrayal. As punishment to them, the doctor will remove all their organs. Dr. Zhang wanted to start removing organs from Wu Jin and decided not to use any anesthetic. Dr. Zhang immediately prepares the operation for Wu Jin. When the operation started, Miro went to Dr. Zhang's office to start the special treatment, and because Dr. Zhang was not there, she started lighting all the candles that she found. Then suddenly her actions led to a big fire and made Dr. Zhang panic when he found out. Dr. Zhang immediately enters the room to take all the important documents that he hides in the drawer. The unexpected happening gives the trio a chance to escape. They called Miro, who just passed by, and asked for help. Miro is reluctant to help as she knows that they are just undergoing treatment. Sua sincerely talks to Miro and convinces her to unleash them. Then Miro decides to help them free. The trio immediately rush out to the hospital, and when they pass by at the office of the doctor, they see Dr. Zhang came out burned and engulfed in flames. Dong Sik takes out the key card from Dr. Zhang that has control to all the door locks on the hospital. Dong Sik has a kind heart and he can't take to left the rest of the patient and rush to set them free. The fire spreads quickly and Sua can't wait for Dong Sik to return, so she decides to go out with Wu Jin. But before they escape, Dr. Zhang suddenly appears and grabs Wu Jin with a tight grip. Sua can't do anything but watch Dr. Zhang dragging Wu Jin to a fire. When the fire finally went out, the whole hospital was devastated and only Sua was able to come out alive. When Suah returned to her home, she saw that her stepfather Byung-jo was dead. Suah was the only person on that crime scene, so she was immediately arrested and became a prime suspect. After 1 year, a person named Namso, who is a programming director, handled an investigative TV show. But he was accused that his reality show is a fraud, which led to take him out of the job. After a few days, he was called back by the TV station, who fired him. He was assigned to a project which is based on the investigation of what truly happened in the psychiatric hospital who was burned down last year. While Namso is preparing for his new project, he sees the diary that Suah wrote. The diary has a detailed, horrific experience of a woman who is detained in the psychiatric hospital. Because of this, Namso decided to go to the hospital. He and his team explore the ruins of the hospital. But before they start their shoot, a mystery man runs in front of them who has an intensive burn in his body. They immediately rush the man to the hospital, and later on he notices the tattoo of the man is the same as what he saw in the diary. With the added information that the man came from the ruins of the hospital, he had a strong theory. When all the medical staff leave, he comes near to the man and knows that the man was Dong-sik. His excitement to know if everything written on the diary was true increased, because this is the way to make his career flourish. But when Namso started asking Dong-sik about the diary, Dong-sik became agitated, which caused his heart monitor alarm. Dong-sik's reaction gives Namso a confirmation that all the information on the diary was true. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to get more information from Dong-sik. When he came back to his office, Namso immediately started a deep investigation in the case. But the information on the internet about the hospital was limited and no information to the people who are involved. The next day, her assistant informs him the reason why the information about what happened to the hospital is limited, because it happened the same day when the police chief Byung-jo died, and the media attention focused on the police chief case rather than the fire incident in the hospital. When Namso searched Byung-jo online, he found out that the suspect of the police chief's murder was his stepdaughter named Suah. Using his connection to the police, he managed to talk with Suah. Namso asked Suah directly about the diary, but Suah remained silent and didn't want to talk about it. Because of this, Namso leaves his calling card and decides to leave. The next day, Suah and Namso meet again, and this time, Suah breaks her silence and starts telling how she was abducted and tortured by the doctor of the hospital. Namso hesitates to believe at first, but later on he believes that the information on the diary that was written by Suah was all true. Because of this, he dug up more information about the hospital and found out that the doctor of the said hospital had become a business partner of the police chief. Furthermore, he discovered the death of Suah's mother that happened 2 months before Byung-jo's death. Suah's mother owns assets worth billions of dollars, and the info that caught Namso's eye was all the assets transferred to Byung-jo a day before Suah's mother died. Namso concludes that Byung-jo might manipulate Suah's mother to transfer all her assets under Byung-jo's name, and when he gets it, he decides to kill Suah's mother. He also ordered Dr. Jang to imprison Suah to the hospital so that there will be no more obstacles to their plan. To confirm his conclusion, he needs Suah's confirmation so that he can use all the information he gathered to expose it to the media. Then Namso immediately went to Suah and asked about his father. Suah responded that her father was dead when she was still a child. Namso told her about the result of his investigation and also gave his conclusion. Suah remained silent and didn't confirm that his conclusion was true. Because of this, Namso decided to leave and went to Dong-sik to get a confirmation about his conclusion. Unfortunately, Dong-sik already escaped from the hospital. Namso became worried because the day of the broadcast was near and he didn't get any confirmation yet about his conclusion. He went back to the prison again to talk with Suah, but this time Suah declined to talk to him. Namso is disappointed and doesn't know what to do. On the day of the broadcast, he confidently exposed all the information and his conclusion in front of the camera. He shared that Suah was forcibly sent to the psychiatric hospital by his stepfather Byung-jo, where she was tortured within a month. This news caused excitement and caught the attention of the media. Many reporters rush to the prison where Suah is detained to get an interview from her, but she refuses all the requests except for Namso. When they meet, Namso apologizes to her for exposing the information that he gathered even though it didn't have a confirmation from her if it's true. At that time, Suwa breaks her silence and gives the confirmation that all the information that he exposed on TV was true. While they are talking, a painful memory of Suwa to her stepfather hits her very hard that causes her emotion uncontrollable. She shared that by the time her mother brought her to Byung-jo's house, her life became miserable. Her mother was always tortured by Byung-jo until she was near to death and she couldn't do anything to help her. Suwa also admits that she really wants to kill Byung-jo, but by the time she gets back home, she already sees Byung-jo dead. Namso believed all Suwa said because it was supported by the information that he gathered and his conclusion was confirmed by her. Namso is determined to expose the truth. He immediately prepared for the next episode of his show and believed that this would give an explosion to the media. He directly exposed to the public the abomination crime of Byung-jo. His report was in detail on how Byung-jo abused Suwa and her mother. Also the crime of being accomplice to a corrupt doctor of the hospital for killing an uncountable innocent victim for removing their organ and selling it. He also revealed that according to the forensic Byung-jo use and illegal medicine which caused severe mental instability which led him to take his life. That broadcast immediately caused a fire in the media which led to the public viewers angry. The police commissioner immediately issued a public apology just to calm down the netizen. Unfortunately, the public apology was not enough which caused a protest and multiple rallies who asked for accountability and to reopen the murder case against Suwa. Because of this, the court examined again the case of Suwa and in the end they declared that the case didn't have sufficient evidence to accuse Suwa for killing Byung-jo. So they revoke her 7-year sentence. On the day of her release, Namso was there to pick her up. As he drove her home, Suwa was calm. Before he left, Suwa told him one important rule from the hospital that the patient is not allowed to hold a sharp object. She wanted to make it clear to Namso that she is not the one who wrote in the diary and the only person who has the capability to write and know the horrific happening in the hospital is none other than Dong-sik. It also shows that Suwa's mother is the person brought to the psychiatric hospital after Byung-jo transferred all her assets under his name, then ordered Dr. Jang to imprison Suwa's mother. The undesirable situation of Suwa's mother led Dong-sik to take action and call Suwa for help. In Suwa's story, the person who came to save her named Woo-jin was her late biological father, but the one who truly came was Suwa. Also by the time when Woo-jin's organ was about to be removed, in reality it was Suwa and the scar on her body was the proof. In the time when Woo-jin was dragged by the doctor to the fire, Suwa shouted that "Mother, don't leave me," which means the one who truly dragged the fire was her mother. And now everything makes sense that the real victim was Suwa's mother and not Suwa. After she escaped from the fire, Suwa saw her stepfather and she followed him going back home. There the truth came that Suwa is the real killer of Byung-jo and she just used Namso with the fabricated story about the diary so that Namso will help her to be acquitted of the case. Namso laughs when he realizes that Suwa outsmarted him. But Namso didn't regret what he did because it was good for Suwa. And that's where the story ends. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Also hit the notification bell to get updated on every video that we upload. Thank you and have a great day.